A friend of mine kept telling her daughter to just be confident. She'd see her shrink before a party or watch her hands tremble before a class presentation, and her heart would just break. So she did what she thought was best. She'd say, "Girl, you got this. Just be confident. Don't be so shy." And every single time, she watched the wall go up between them, get a little bit higher and taller. Watching her struggle brought it all back for me, because I was that kid. I was that teen. I was that shy, anxious person who desperately wanted to connect but didn't know how. The words my friend were using were almost the exact same words I heard as a kid, and they didn't work then either. Her daughter's anxiety didn't just stay the same, it skyrocketed. And I was left watching a painful history repeat itself, while the very words that were meant as a life raft were actually weighing another kid down. If you've ever found yourself saying something similar, if you've ever watched a teen shut down when you were just trying to help, then you need to hear this. I had to learn from both sides of this, from being that anxious teen and from watching parents I love make the same mistakes, and what the one phrase to avoid is, and more importantly, what to say instead to actually help your anxious teen feel more seen, heard, and supported. Welcome to Waves of Change. This is my journey of retiring, relocating, and writing what peace means for me. Because you're never too late, and your peace is never too far. When you see a child struggling, the most natural thing in the world to do is to try to fix it. We want to solve the problem, to give them the answer, so we reach for phrases that feel encouraging to us. Don't worry about it. There's nothing to be afraid of. You'll be fine. Just do it. And the big one, just be confident. On the surface, we think these phrases are building them up. We want to instill courage. But what our teen actually hears is something entirely different. I know, because I heard it. When you tell a teen who's experiencing anxiety, "Don't worry," what they hear is, "My feelings are wrong." When you say, "It's no big deal," they hear, "You're overreacting, and your perspective doesn't matter." And when you say, "Just be confident," it's like telling someone in a rainstorm to just be dry. They don't know how. If I could have just flipped the switch and been confident, believe me, I would have done so quick, fast, and in a hurry. Nobody chooses to feel the physical and emotional gut punch of anxiety. These phrases don't build connection. They create a canyon between you and your teen. They're dismissive. They invalidate your teen's very real, very powerful emotional experience. Anxiety isn't a rational choice. It's an overwhelming response from their body and their brain. For someone in the grip of anxiety, everything feels like a big deal. Telling them otherwise doesn't make the feelings go away. It just adds a layer of shame on top. I started to think, not only am I scared, but I'm wrong for being scared. I can't talk to my parents about this. This is a trap so many of us fall into. We think we're coaching, but we're actually sending the message that their internal world is flawed. We're not seeing the world through their lens. We're trying to force them to see it through ours. And for a teenager, that's incredibly isolating. This is how I learned to suffer in silence, without even meaning to. We reinforce the very anxiety we're trying to fix by making them feel more alone. My turning point wasn't some single dramatic event. It was a slow realization built on reflecting on my own past and seeing the same patterns play out with parents like my friend. I remember how I would tense up before a pep talk. I remembered how my answers got shorter and shorter. "How was school?" "Fine." "How's your day?" "Fine." "How was lunch?" "Fine." I remember I used to share my day, but then, as time went on, it was replaced by a guardedness that those well-intentioned words had put there. The real aha moment came from something that I read. It talked about the concept of validation, and it explained that anxious people don't need a problem solver. They need an emotional ally. They need someone to just sit with them in the feeling, not try to drag them out of it. The article explained that validation is an agreement. Validating a teen's fear of a party doesn't mean you agree that the party is terrifying. It just means that you get that for them, in that moment, it feels terrifying. The adults in my life had been so focused on changing my feelings that they had never once just acknowledged them. They were so busy trying to fix the problem of my anxiety that they failed to see me, the person experiencing it. I didn't need a coach telling me to get back in the game. I needed a teammate who would sit on the bench with me for a minute and say, "Wow, this is tough. I'm here with you." I realized all the attempts to fix things had taught me that I couldn't handle uncertainty on my own. In a loving, well-intentioned way, they were making the problem worse. To help the kids today, though, we have to learn to stop talking so much and start listening more. We have to let go of the desire to make them happy all the time and instead make it safe for them to be unhappy or scared or worried. That was the beginning of understanding for me. It's scary because it means letting go of control, but it's the only way to connect. So if we stop saying, "Just be confident," what takes its place? It's a shift in your entire approach from directing to connecting. It's about putting down the megaphone of advice and picking up the magnifying glass of curiosity. This isn't just about swapping a few words. It's about changing your goal from fixing their feelings to understanding their feelings. Let's start with some strategies. Strategy number 1, listen and validate relentlessly. This is the absolute foundation. Validation is the most powerful tool you have. It's the simple act of acknowledging your teen's feelings as real and understandable without judgment. Remember, it doesn't mean you agree. It just means you hear them. Instead of "Don't worry, you'll have a great time," try, "It sounds like you're really nervous about the party. I get that. Big crowds can be a lot." Instead of saying, "You're fine, there's nothing to be scared of," try, "I can see that given the presentation is making you feel really anxious. That sounds so tough." Here are some more validating phrases. "It makes sense that you would feel that way. I hear you. It sounds like it's really hard for you right now. Thank you for telling me what's going on. I'm sorry you're going through this. I'm here for you." When you validate, they can stop fighting to convince you they feel seen, which instantly lowers their defenses and opens the door for connection. Strategy number 2, ask open-ended, curious questions. After you validate, your next step isn't to offer a solution. I get it, it's hard not to. It's to get curious. Resist the urge to jump into the problem solving. Instead, ask gentle, open-ended questions that invite them to share more. Instead of, "Why are you so worried about this?" which can sound like an accusation, try, "What's on your mind about it?" or "What does that feel like for you?" The goal here isn't to interrogate them. It's to simply show you're interested in their experience. You're trying to understand, not fix. Ask things like, "What's the hardest part about this for you? What is your worry telling you right now? Is there anything I could do that will feel helpful, or would you just like for me to listen?" This last part is pure gold. It gives them control and you respect their needs. Sometimes they want help brainstorming, but often they just need a sounding board. Strategy number 3, model healthy coping mechanisms and share your own story. Your teen is watching you. They learn how to handle stress by seeing how you handle yours. It's incredibly powerful for them to hear that you don't have it all figured out either. Share your own struggles, appropriately of course. Make their experience feel normal. You could say, "I still get nervous before a big meeting. Something that helps me is just taking a few slow, deep breaths before I walk into the room. Want to try it?" By talking about your own coping process, you're not telling them what to do, you're showing them. You're saying anxiety is a part of being human. It's not a character flaw, it's something we manage, not something that defines us. This models self-compassion and resilience far more effectively than any lecture could. These strategies are the foundation for rebuilding connection and trust. But I know that putting them into practice day after day can be a challenge. But if you want a step-by-step guide to help your anxious teen girl not just cope, but truly thrive, I've created something special just for her. It's an online course called Girl Unleash Your Superpower. In it, we go deeper than we could in a single video. And we provide tools and exercises to help her build real, lasting confidence from the inside out. If you're ready to give her that gift, you can learn more about it and register her by clicking on the link in the description box below. Great communication is critical, but it's only one piece of the puzzle. The words you say have to be backed up by the environment you create in your home. This is where your actions reinforce your message of support. Strategy number 4, focus on small, gradual steps. Anxiety can feel like a huge, insurmountable wall. Trying to tackle it all at once is a recipe for overwhelm. Instead, work with your team to break scary situations into tiny, manageable steps. This is the key idea in cognitive behavior therapy, CBT, where it's called gradual exposure. Facing fears in small, controlled doses to build confidence. If they're anxious about joining a new club, the first step isn't walking into a meeting. The first step might be just looking at the club's online page. The next might be asking a friend about it, and then maybe walking past the classroom where they meet. Each tiny success is a win. Let your team help set the pace, but gently encourage them to keep moving forward. The goal isn't to throw them in the deep end. It's to show them that they can handle the water 1 inch at a time. Strategy number 5, avoid labels and overprotection. The words we use matter, even when we're not talking directly to our team. Avoid labeling them as the shy one or my anxious kid. I was labeled the shy one, and it felt like a box I could not escape until I left high school. Labels can become self-fulfilling prophecies. They are a person who experiences anxiety. They are not an anxious person. It's a subtle but crucial difference. Equally important is resisting the urge to rescue them from every uncomfortable situation. I know, it's hard to do, but let's resist the urge. It comes from a place of love, but overprotection sends the message, I don't think you could handle this. Shielding them from every challenge robs them of the chance to build their own coping skills. Your role is to be their support, their safety net, not their bulldozer that clears every obstacle from their path. Strategy number 6, build a support network. You cannot and should not be their only source of support. Help them identify trusted adults and friends, a favorite teacher, a counselor, a coach, a family friend. A broader support network makes their world feel safer and less dependent on just you. And of course, part of this network is building your own. Talk to friends or a professional. You can't pour from an empty cup, and managing your own anxiety about their anxiety is the key to being a calm, steady presence for them. It's so important to recognize that while these strategies are powerful, sometimes anxiety is more than a parent can handle alone. And that's 100% okay. Nearly 1 in 3 adolescents deal with an anxiety disorder. This is not a parenting failure. It's a medical reality. So, when should you consider getting professional help? If your teen's anxiety is seriously getting in the way of their daily life, if it's stopping them from going to school, hurting their grades, or keeping them from having friends, or causing physical symptoms like constant headaches or stomach issues, it's time to talk to a professional. One of the most effective proven treatments for anxiety in teens is CBT, as I mentioned earlier. It's a practical, skills-based therapy that helps teens see the connection between their thoughts, feelings, and actions. A therapist can give them concrete tools to challenge their anxious thoughts and strategies to face their fears gradually. Group therapy can also be amazing as it lets teens connect with peers who know exactly what they're going through. Reaching out for help is a sign of strength, and it's a vital step in giving your teen the best care possible. I know how painful it is to watch a child struggle with anxiety, and I know from my own life how painful it is to be that child. The feeling of helplessness can be overwhelming, and it's natural to want to fix it. But the journey to understanding this taught me that the most powerful thing we could do is to stop trying to be their hero and start being their harbor. The shift is simple, but it's not easy. It's moving from just be confident to I see this is hard for you and I'm here. It's trading quick reassurances for patient listening. It's putting connection before correction. When we give our teen the gift of validation, we give them a safe space to land. We tell them that all their feelings are welcome, that they are not broken, and that they do not have to face their fears alone. This change won't happen overnight. You'll slip up and fall back into old habits, but every time you choose to validate instead of dismiss, every time you choose curiosity over advice, you're laying another brick in the bridge back to your teen. You're rebuilding trust. You're empowering them not by telling them what to be, but by loving them exactly as they are. And that is the greatest confidence booster of all. Hey y'all, I'm Vanessa and this is Waves of Change. Thank you for joining me today. And remember, you're never too late and your peace is never too far. Bye.